Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Just Open It, the YouTube series in which I open recently acquired toys. My name is Russ. Thank you very much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. If you're a fan of toys, action figures, or pop culture in general, please subscribe to my channel, Karaoke Fanboy TV. Every week I will open a recently acquired toy or collectible, and today I am opening from NECA, Ming The Merciless from the Defenders of the Earth line. Now, I'll be honest, I don't have as much of an affinity for this character as I do some of the other figures I've collected and opened on this very channel. You know, especially Masters of the Universe, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Star Trek, Superpowers. Those are things that really harken back to my childhood. I did watch the Defenders of the Earth cartoon show, which Stan Lee had a hand in producing as well. But I don't know, I just didn't have as close an affinity to these characters. They didn't make as great an impact to me as, say, again, the DC Superpowers figures or Marvel's Secret Wars figures. I didn't track down this classic line then, but I've been tracking them down now. And in a rare moment in this Just Open It series, I'm going to show you a figure that I will not be opening. Just as kind of a prologue to this, I did recently acquire this original Defenders of the Earth Flash Gordon. And he's super cool. Packaging is in decent shape, though this top flap is very loose. I feel like this bubble could eventually pop off. You can look at the back here. There were 6 original figures in this line. I have Mandrake the Magician and Ming the Merciless in their packaging, though again, the bubble is like hanging on by a thread. So when I saw this Flash Gordon recently on a trip to Palm Springs, actually, kind of antiquing, I had to snatch him up. And I'll tell you what I paid for him. I paid 36 bucks. I don't know if that's a good deal or not. I just don't see these figures around that often. And considering the new figures are just about as much, I'll talk about that in a minute, I figured, okay, you know, why not? And maybe one day the bubble will just pop off, and I'll have the figure in hand, and I'll display him on a case, but on a shelf, I should say. But right now, I'm just going to hang him up alongside Ming. I'm looking up because they're right in my living room up here. Ming and Mandrake are up there, so he's going to join them among the very few figures that I'm intentionally not opening. And I can't tell you why, other than, I don't know, I just find the whole package cool. I find this whole presentation cool. The Mighty Crusaders is a similar line that I have a few of. I have the Shield and the Comet and the Fox, and I'm not opening those, at least not yet. I did have a few of those when I was a kid, but I'm more interested in them now for their nostalgic value and the impact these characters had in comics and in pop culture in general, because everybody knows Spider-Man and Superman and so on, but there were these secondary characters. You know, Archie Comics did the Mighty Crusaders, and Defenders of the Earth kind of came from, I believe it was King's Syndicate comic strips that were in the paper, in the newspaper, so they mashed up like Flash Gordon and the Phantom and Mandrake to create this team because that was all the rage. You know, you have the Justice League, the Avengers, the X-Men, so, you know, production companies saw the potential in this stuff too. So in fact, this is Galoob. King Features Syndicate is credited as the copyright here, 1985. Is that the case here as well? Is it King Features Syndicate? Yeah, so, you know, there's a consistency there. Price tag on this Ming is $24.99. I purchased Flash, the NECA Flash, and this Ming in a 2-for-1 deal. So I got them both for 25 bucks. That's really the only reason I have them. I would like to get the rest of the line, but if you watched the video in which I opened the Flash Gordon, something happens in that video that kind of turned me off to this whole thing. So I won't spoil it here. Just watch that video and see what I'm talking about. And maybe Ming will redeem the line, and we're about to find out as I open this box. Now, some cool box art here, just like that Flash has cool box art. But what I like most about these figures is like the credits on the back for the folks that are responsible for its design. You have, you know, it says production development, sculpting, packaging, photography, fabrication, paint, prototypes, character illustration. I mean, to credit the people responsible for the production of this action figure, to me, is frankly revolutionary. I don't see that on He-Man toys or McFarlane toys, or when I say He-Man, I mean any Mattel products. I don't know if I've ever seen something like this before. And it's super cool, overdue, and it does add a value to these characters, because, you know, if these are awesome, I could look up Randy Falk on Instagram and shoot him a message and say, hey man, really dug your work on this. So that kind of connectivity to the creators, it's as important here as it is in any other medium. You know, action figures are kind of an art in and of themselves, because you're creating something that has the potential for kids to create their own stories, like to interact with this thing. At least that's what I used to do. You know, that's why I'm so fond of these toys to this day, is because they were my initial means for storytelling. I literally played with them, created dialogue, action, stories, you know, with conclusions. So that's kind of what I'm tapping into every time I open one of these. A little silicone, silica gel. Can't eat it. Too bad. Feeling a little hungry, but not eating this. That's interesting. I wonder why that's in there. To keep them fresh? I don't get it. But I pull out the figure. Oh, there's cloth involved. I wonder if that's why. I don't know if I remember that with Flash. So, okay, Ming, I'm looking at you, and I'm really looking at you for the first time here, and there's a lot going on. Pull them out of here. Oh boy, all these plastic bands and stuff holding them in. Why? Why do we need all these? This is a twist tie. Was there a problem with figures getting loose in their packaging? That's something I can email these people about. I have names. I can ask questions. I see it as needless plastic. But that would be more important if I was opening a Captain Planet figure, I guess. Okay, here we go. Boy, this is an epic figure. There's a lot of stuff going on here. Okay, before I even get into his accessories, just get a load of that right there. Look at the detail on his uniform. The sculpting is sharp. The paint application is cool. The cloth cape looks like it has some malleability, like there's a wire here, so I can shape that. That's kind of becoming a thing with some action. You know, I'm not wild about it, but it's pretty cool. Look at this guy. I mean, this might be one of the more... This might be like the highest end figure I own. Just as far as, like, I don't want to mess him up. How would you even play with this kind of figure? It's more like a statue. But the articulation is there, you know, you could do things, pose him, and so on. Okay, so what's he come with? He's got a couple of accessories here. This looks like a staff. And you'll have to forgive me if some of this stuff is like from the movie Flash Gordon. I saw it once and never really, I haven't revisited it. I'd like to, as a more mature fan of this stuff now. I think I'd get more out of it for sure. But I'm just not there yet. I don't have access to it. I'm sure it's on a streaming service or two, but I haven't made the effort, but I will. Look at that. Skeletor's Havoc staff, eat your heart out. That is a full-on, like, dragon's-headed staff with almost a little, you know, translucent plastic there, too. So that's cool. There's a sword here, like a saber. So we got a saber here. Okay. I'm just now noticing that there's an alternate hand down here. I'm not big on the alternate hands. Okay. lot of tape and just, you know, miscellaneous packaging here. So this is just like another, I don't know if, is that probably the gun hand, because there's a gun. Oh, and I dropped it. Okay. The gun. And then a couple blasts here. Now, I know this figure's been out for a while. This isn't new to a lot of people. But, okay, NECA also does this thing real quick where, like, the accessories are behind a little protective barrier here. It's just more plastic as far as I'm concerned. Okay, what the heck is that? That's like a blast. Is that the only thing? Okay, is that it? Is that everything? Okay. So you have these two blasts that I assume could attach onto the gun. This is like, it comes from the gun and that's the point of impact. And this is just like a little pew kind of thing. Both of those go on the gun. I don't think they go on the staff or anything. Yeah, I think they're both just options for the gun. I wish there was a little holster or something for the sword. It's interesting that there is not, considering all of the beautiful detail that's otherwise in this figure. So I'm going to put his staff in his hand, and I think that's it. Let's see. And again, watch the Flash Gordon video to see why this is a somewhat perilous moment here, getting the accessory into his hand. It's not super easy, and I don't know if that's because I'm overthinking it or something, but like, just get the heck in there, you know what I mean? When we were kids, it was just, I don't know, I feel like it was just, I don't remember struggling with toys. They came right out of the package, you popped the weapons right in their hands, and you were playing. This guy's hand is, like, the fingers are so curled that it wasn't going around the staff completely. So let me start at the more narrow base. What do I have to do here? What am I missing? I'm literally like pulling the fingers out. Okay, there we go. That was, I don't know. I've just, oh, and it's not in there completely. So maybe this isn't even the hand that weapon's meant to go in. But here he is. I mean, it just looks great. It looks cool, regardless of my criticism of the functionality. The sculpting on his chest and the belt and everything is so wild to me. And then he's got a ring on his finger, and it's just, I'm taken by it. And, you know, considering the original price point for these figures at retail at Target was like 30 bucks, I wanted them for a while, and they were never discounted. In most Targets I go to, they're still there, full price, for years. I think I saw on the bottom of this box it said 2020. 4 years deep, these toys are still there. I don't know if they're being purchased and reshelved, restocked, or if that's just one of the first few boxes they put out there and they don't move. Because again, this is there's a limited audience for this. And then on top of that, you know, you're looking at 30, 35 bucks an action figure. And, okay, spoiler alert if you've made it this far in the video, the sword that came with Flash Gordon broke within seconds of my holding it. So, you know, there's a fragility to this stuff too that I feel like I wish that the price assured some quality, but when I look at this guy, it is redemptive. The sculpt alone is cool. I mean, he could very well just be a statue, as far as I'm concerned. But I'll put some posability there. Maybe I'll mess with the hand and put the gun in. You know what? Let me just do it now since we're recording. See if something happens. The hand isn't coming out as easily as I'd like it to. Okay, there we go. I'm just not wild about popping hands on and off, but this seems to be the norm for every action figure line now. Okay, it went right in there. And then as far as the gun going in the hand, the fingers are so close to it's so tight that, okay, here we go. And the people I'm praising The people I'm praising NECA for putting on this box are like, just get the weapon in there, you dweeb. It's not that hard. Okay, so if I wanted to go full, I got the blast on the laser in the hand on the figure, and there is a lot of potential here. I feel like if you were going to actually play with these toys, like really play with them, you'd have to like loosen them up so much. And I know collectors do things with like boiling water. They put figures in boiling water and so on. I'm not quite willing to go there yet. Again, when you're dropping 35 bucks or whatever. Fortunately, in my case, again, it was just 25 bucks for two. But, you know, if I were dropping full price on this, I put it in boiling water and some of the paint starts to fleck off. Or is that a possibility, guys? Tell me in the comments if I'm just off base with that. But I feel like those are risks I don't want to take with a figure this expensive. Okay, the blast fell off, but I was just messing with the calf. The calves do, the boots have articulation to help with standing. But it's just super stiff, so. All in all, an awesome figure. Looks great. There's some practical questions I have as far as the sculpting, the articulation, the playability, but I don't know if that's what this figure is even for. I think it's meant to be for an adult collector like me that has a fondness for these characters and is willing to kind of tolerate the stiffness in the joints and so on, because hey, at this point the collectors have a little stiffness in their joints too. So NECA, I see what you're doing here. Thank you very much for watching this video. I appreciate it. Again, if you're a fan of toys, subscribe to my channel. I open a new one every week. I'm nearing 100 opens, which is pretty wild to me, actually. And I want to do something special for that 100th opening. I have no idea what it'll be yet, but tune in, or if you have ideas for that, put it in the comments. I do have Castle Grayskull from the Masters of the Universe Origins line unopened. I have several vehicles from that line that I've yet to open. That could be kind of a triumphant thing for a celebratory episode like that. Let me know what you think. Also, follow me on Instagram at AmazingAZ Comics. I do self-publish mini comics. I'm a cartoonist based in Phoenix, Arizona, and if you're interested in such things, you can find me there as well. In the meantime, tune in next time when I grab another unopened toy from the stack here in my living room and I say, you know what? Just open it. I'll catch you next time.